to the Dirty Bag Podcast. I'm your host, Cookie, and today we're gonna get into being cut from a different cloth, if you will. Y'all know the foundation of this podcast has always really been, of course, highlighting Black creatives and business owners. So this kind of feels like a bit of a full circle moment for me coming back to that space. So I went to the Pinky Cole experience. If you don't know who that is, unless you've been living under the rock, that is the CEO of Slutty Vegan out of Atlanta. She had her book tour stop here in Dallas. I went, and she brought a certain somebody on stage to kind of introduce him to the world. And I was so inspired by what I saw. I had to go ahead and bring him on in here. So I have Manny, the CEO of Cool Stitch Clothing, and I'm gonna let you introduce yourself to the people.
Yeah. So my name is Manny. I am the designer and owner of CoolStitch, also the photographer, the social media manager, I'm PR. I mean, as an entrepreneur, you have to do it all. So
Right.
everything. CoolStitch is a cut and sew brand. So what that means is I source the fabric. I cut out the pattern. I then use that pattern to create each garment that I sell. So it's really hands on. It's not something that's made in the factory and then I'm doing it from the beginning process. So each fabric I select, I make sure it has the highest standard, a good quality, a good feel to it. And then again, I'm using that fabric to make, each and every garment.
So
So
there
it's
is
a hand.
no Fashion Nova or Shein in your.
No, no fast fashion. It's not fast fashion. No, it's my passion, not fast fashion.
That's a
So,
quote.
hey, you're welcome.
This ain't fast fashion. It's my passion.
Yeah,
Bars.
not
So
a rapper. I'm not. Yeah.
listen. So a lot of people are in the fashion. Like people have boutiques now. Folks are selling
hmm
shirts and all of that good stuff. But like you said, this is literally from your hands, which isn't the most common. What
Yes.
what got you started in that?
So, one day I had an idea. This is 2015, and at that time, everyone is, they're doing a lot. Everyone's always making a clothing brand. So, but they're using garments already made. They're buying T-shirts in bulk and then doing whatever they're doing to that. And I had the idea, can I make a better quality T-shirt from scratch? So I joined, like Pinky would say too, the YouTube University. So, went on YouTube and I learned how to sew. So 7 years later, Cool Stitch is a continuation of that, learning how to sew and making these pieces over and over and over until now it's a full brand. The first piece that I made wasn't the best piece, I was so eager to get into it. I bought the cheapest sewing machine because I didn't know if this was going to work. So I got the sewing machine, I got the supplies, then I got to it, but I didn't realize I bought the wrong fabric. So I didn't get a knit for a t-shirt. That's what a t-shirt is a knit or a jersey. It's a different type of fabrics. But I bought it 100% cotton with no stretch. So after I'm done sewing the shirt, I would try to pull it over my head. I couldn't, because they had no stretch. So I was very disappointed in that moment. But then that's the moment I was like, hey, I'm gonna make the best t-shirt, and I'm gonna make pieces going forward. So after that moment, I went back to YouTube, you know,
Went back to class.
went back to class. I signed up again, and then I mean, like they say, the rest is history. Now I make menswear and women's wear. Tops to bottoms, and that's just from continuing. Over and over and over until I got it right.
I hear you, and that's so dope that so you said
Yeah,
2015.
yeah,
So at
yeah.
what point were you
I've
like, I'm
been.
gonna
It's
make
been.
this like a career? Like at what point were you like, I'm gonna do this for real, for real?
Yeah. No, so in 2020, I was laid off. In the pandemic. So at that point in time, I was like, yes, which was very weird for some people because they were like, hey, are you okay? I'm like, I'm great. Now I have the full focus and opportunity to focus on my brand. As an entrepreneur, I had a 9 to 5. So I was always back and forth between those two. I need to quit, I need to focus on my brand. So it's always a back and forth. And then when 2020 came around, I didn't have a choice. I was like, you know what? Now I'm gonna focus on my brand. So it's gonna be 3 years in February that it's been 100%, and it hasn't been the best time, but it's been I've enjoyed being a full-time entrepreneur, I would say.
So how did that work for
Yeah.
you? Because some you said 2020, in which some people there's a term I heard called the pandemicpreneur. But obviously you were doing this before the
hmm
pandemic. So you
I,
saw
yeah.
being furloughed as a blessing. What was that journey like for you with the shutdown, just things being uncertain? How did that play into your creating?
You know, it it was very scary at first. I'm not gonna lie, because in the beginning of February, I'm told my position will be no more. They'll be transitioning my position offshore, and hence I'm being laid off. So this is the beginning of February. So I'm just like, okay, now I can start focusing on the brand. And then the pandemic comes in March, pretty much. I'm like, okay, who's gonna want to buy clothes? With everything going on, I was just like, how, like, it doesn't make sense to sell clothes. That's what I was thinking to myself. But I still kept going. I'm just like, hey, I could use this time to get better, honing on my craft, and I can still create. If someone wants something, they will buy it. I don't have to use it as a negative to stop me. I was a little hesitant at first, but then
Right.
I said, I can also make masks. So I began to make, masks. I was selling masks more than I was selling clothing, obviously. But I just used it as an opportunity to really keep on moving. I looked at it at first like, man, this is not gonna work. But then I was just like, let me do it and then see where it goes from there. Instead of saying it's not gonna work. So,
But you know
and
what's
then it did
crazy?
work.
So many people were buying stuff. People were stuck in the crib on
Yes.
Amazon, and we wanted. I actually spent money on a mask that had a chain with my name on it. Only wore that thing
Yeah.
like I broke the little chain broke, but I was like out here spending
hmm
money on pretty masks. So yeah, people were definitely
Right.
still shopping.
Yeah. And then I sent it to influencers, the mask. I sent it to a lot of influencers, and then they start wearing it. Some at me, some didn't. You know how that goes. But I mean, I learned like you can't be negative about it all the time. It's hard being an entrepreneur, obviously, and you get ups and downs. And I realized like this year, it's like you just got to keep going. You know what I mean? No matter what, you just got to keep going. And I mean, that sounds easy, and I know it's not easy. Personally, it hasn't been easy, but I just look at it like, hey, there's something I could do for my brand, and I just need to make sure I'm doing it instead of just being hands off and stopping and quitting. So I just always make sure, I'm moving. Not the fastest, but just make some traction there.
Right. And did you ever feel
Yeah.
like it's talking about never quitting? Because people have moments in entrepreneurship, especially in them early
hmm
stages when you decide to go full time. You ever have moments where you was just like, you know what? I'm good. Like I'm done. This ain't for me. You let doubt seep in because things weren't going your way, or did you
Yeah.
ever had a
Yeah.
moments?
I mean, yeah, it happens, and it happened in this event with Pinky in particular, because for the month of November, I'm just like, okay, like the dream ain't dreaming. It's been a lot of ups and downs, and it's not going literally how I planned and how I would want it to go. So I started to come up with a plan B, which is like, hey, I'm gonna go back into corporate America. So at that point in time in November, when I'm thinking about my next steps, like what I'm gonna do, I saw Pinky. She posted like, "Hey, I'm having a book tour. I'm gonna select black-owned brands, and I'm gonna bring this brand out to promote their brand on stage with me." So when I saw that, I was just like, "Okay, it's a celebrity. Yeah, I'm gonna send her stuff." But from the past experiences I had with celebrities, I was just like, okay, I'll get to it. But then I'm realizing, like, hey, I can't treat everything. From my past experience, I can't continue going forward thinking like, okay, not every experience is gonna be a good experience with a celebrity. So I sent her, I I ended up sewing, and I sent her a piece. So after I sent her the piece, I didn't hear anything, you know, at that point in time. So then, doubt came in, like I sent the piece and I didn't hear anything. And then one day, in which I'm literally ironing my outfit for a hiring event I was gonna go to, because I was just like, okay, I haven't heard anything. I sent her the piece. Then I was like, okay. maybe I have to get a job. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get a job. So
I
as I'm
want to get a
ironing my
job.
outfit, I'm gonna get a job. I have a degree. I have a degree in accounting. So I did all that.
You're a
I
numbers
didn't want to.
guy.
Yeah, I'm a numbers guy. So I didn't want to go finding my passion, which is sewing. I didn't want to have to, go back to that unless I absolutely necessarily had to. So as I'm ironing my outfit for the hiring event, I see that my friend calls me first and it's like, "Hey, Pinky, she wore your outfit on stage to the she had a meeting with the CEO of DoorDash and she wore your outfit." And I was like, "What? No, no." So I go on the gram. I'm just like, "Wow, she really wore the outfit." And then in that post, she selected me to be the winner to go to Dallas with her and present,
Look
Cool
at
Stitch on stage,
God.
which is where you saw me. So,
Look at
I put the
God.
iron down and I got to it. In that moment, I've been going ever since. I've been going ever since.
First of
You
all,
know,
I don't
it's
even
just,
be believing that accountants really want to be accountants. So let's just start there. I don't feel like there's any accountant that is
you,
truly passionate about being an accountant. These are some of the driest people I've ever met in my life. No offense to none of y'all, but it's what I see in my line of work.
yeah, yeah, no, and that's what I was told too going into it when I chose that as a degree. Everyone's like, "Do you really want to do that?" And I'm just like, "Well, that's where the money is right now." So I'm just like, "Hey,
You
it's
like me with
something."
sales.
I'm just like, "Hey, I always had an entrepreneur spirit, back in the day, call it hustlers, whatever you want to call it. I've always tried to, get money and also, in a sense, be creative getting money. So I just knew, and I also needed a way to pay bills and have a life
Got to
as
keep
I'm
them lights
grinding.
on.
Yeah, so I didn't want to, but I'm just like, okay, fine, let me get a degree, and then it worked, and now people have their say on a 9 to 5. I don't knock it, and some people may say it's not for them, but it's for some people too. There's a little stance on it right now, like, forget the 9 to 5, be an entrepreneur, and that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? We all can be
If
entrepreneurs. We need
everybody was
dollars. We need
100% entrepreneur, businesses could not run.
the
I
world
think,
would not.
how does that work, baby? How you gonna eat? So what? There would be no restaurant. I think that it's a
Yeah,
flex now to want to be your own boss, which is cool. I'm
right.
here
We need
for it, and
teachers.
especially when your
Yeah, we.
corporate job is sucking the life out of you. But don't down
Hmm.
people because there's definitely been some arrogant stances about that. But I think it's because people feel
Right.
like they didn't made it X Y Z. But
Yeah.
sometimes them be folks that ain't even been in business that long. It's like you need to go through your peaks and
Yeah.
valleys before you start running your mouth.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Hey, I did it, and I'm not a big fan of it. You know what I'm saying? But I did it. And it's okay. It's not my love. It wasn't my love. When I found, sewing, I was like, oh, this makes me super. I was happy. You know what I mean? I'm in love, passionate about something. I didn't feel that way about, working a 9 to 5. So I can say I prefer what I'm doing now than what I was doing, with
Right.
actual.
But
Yeah.
let me ask you this too. Would you, okay, being in Atlanta, right?
Hmm.
Did you feel maybe pressure? Did you being in Atlanta, because we know that's the black mecca, everybody's an entrepreneur, everybody's a boss. Were you worried about competition in the market at all or standing out because of your location?
No, no. I mean, and I learned, when you go on Instagram, you see everything is beautiful. Everyone is getting money. Everyone has, made $10,000 in sales today. You know what I'm saying? And they, I'm the bad person. You know what I mean? I'm not getting it, but everyone else is getting it. You know what I'm saying? Instagram makes you, it kind of condition you to think like if you're not doing something on a level that you're seeing, that means you're not doing it, and that's not true. You know what I'm saying? That's not true at all. So I had to learn that. So when I look at the competition, I'm just like, there's obviously competition, but I can't focus on that. You know what I mean? I got to focus on what I need to do and just get to it because I believe Cool Stitch could be, which it will be, a fashion brand, a household name. So my goal is to work on that all the time. So
And I mean,
I
she
don't
wore you
really.
a couple of times. We done seen her. She on
Yeah.
vacation rocking your stuff.
Yeah, and she, when I she, like I said, she wore the outfit I sent her to a panel with the, the COO of DoorDash, and I'm just like, okay, that's the COO of DoorDash and president. I mean, that's a big deal.
That's a huge deal.
30, right, 3,500 people sent her pieces, and people sent collections. She had boxes stacked to the ceiling in her house, and she wore my outfit to an event. So I was just like, that's big, that's major. And then on vacation, she wore another outfit that I gave her that outfit when I was in Dallas. I was like, hey, thank you so much. I mean, I appreciate her, for what she did, and she's a blessing. So I wanted to, show her appreciation. So I gave her an outfit. Um, she wore that outfit on vacation, and then she at me, and she said how, comfortable it was. So
She
it
at you.
it speaks, yeah.
But you talked
Cool.
about other celebrities though. Like, what were your other experiences with celebrities and sending
It
pieces?
hasn't been good all the time. Managers hit me up like, oh, send me pieces. I send them pieces. Nothing comes from it. People directly hit me up. I send them pieces. Nothing comes from it. Um, so it's hard, and then I had that kind of set in like, okay, should I send? And that's why I learned is like, man, I just got to get out my feelings. I send a piece. If they wear it, I mean, that's on them, but I've done my part. And at first, I was really like, mad and about it because I'm here sewing the pieces. I'm not just making something
Right.
real quick or I'm sending it out. Me personally, how I approach things, I'm doing it handcrafted. So I'm taking my time. I'm going through your profile. I'm looking at your colors, trying to figure out your favorite color, trying to, get your style. I'm sending you pieces that's going to match what you wear, kind of your style. I'm not going to send you orange. I don't see no orange in your photos. You may
Right.
not like orange. And I am sending you a whole outfit. You're like, I don't like that color. So I do research. I do research in the person I'm gonna send something to, and that it takes time. And I do all that for nothing to come from it. I used to be upset, but now I just it's just part of the game. I chalk it up to part of the game, and that's what
Part
I
of the
feel.
game.
I always gotta tell my it's like, hey, you signed up for this. You know what I'm saying? You want to be an entrepreneur. Like it's gonna be ups and downs, and I mean I have real conversations with myself. It took some time, but I have real conversations. Like when it gets bad, that's just got to keep moving, and that's how I got to with work with Pinky. I mean, I started in 2015, 2022. I
Let's
got a
do some
big.
math.
Let's
Because
do some math.
because what's happening right now is a lot of people are getting into things, whatever their lane is, and
Mhm.
they're wanting this overnight success because of Instagram and because of what they see.
Yes, yeah. And what you don't know is how long that person's been working prior to Instagram, not being on Instagram all the time, and then they show up, and it's like, oh man, but they've been doing a lot of work. You don't know what they've been doing. And if they haven't, then that don't matter either. You got to do what you got to do. But
Right.
7 years later is when I had, I would say my big break. So that's why I never, I can't stop. I can't stop, won't stop, kind of.
Come on,
But
Diddy.
I learned, hey, when it's right, it's right.
It is because you
But
pointed
I
out
learned,
like people had collections and you sent one piece, and that one
I
piece
sent one piece. It's
stood out.
in one piece. It speaks to the quality of it, and I work with Jason Tatum, his stylist, and I sent him a piece, and he wore that piece in the Beijing Olympics, the Summer Olympics. So he literally took a pair of shorts that I made, took it overseas, wore it in the tunnel during the Olympics. I mean, I
Man,
I stand, yeah, I
you
stand
better
on the
flex.
quality.
He said Jason Tatum.
it's
You
not
better flex.
it's not even, I mean, I don't want to flex. It's just people have to understand when it comes to the clothing you wear, it's brands aren't using, some brands, I'm not going to put it all blanket statement, some brands aren't using the best quality materials, and you may not know because you're like, oh, it looks nice, it looks cool, it's my favorite brand. But you got to realize there's different types of cotton, there's different feel, there's different weight of the cotton, there's different printing process the company may use, and it's just, if you, some brands are just trying to make a quick dollar, that hasn't changed. That's been the case for a lot of things. um but I really focus on the quality. I want it to feel good on you. I want it to
Hmm.
look good on you. And when you're comfortable and you feel good, it changes the whole vibe. I feel personally. So I'm not gonna just pick up something and sell it because it looks good. It gotta feel good. It gotta feel good. It's a whole process I go through. Gotta have stretch. I use
And be
spandex a
thick
lot and a
now.
lot of
Be
material.
thick.
Right. And spandex, it contracts to whatever it's there. So it'll stretch, then it comes back and it holds.
Yeah.
So when you're doing, bodycon dresses and, workout dresses, you gotta make sure it has a four-way stretch. You don't want to buy something, you see thread. You buy some of these brands and the thread is dangling when you buy it. You
It's
wash
when
it.
you literally
You
open it up. I've worn some stuff and I'm like, this looks cheap as shit. This actually looks really cheap,
yes,
and it's not giving where it's supposed to give. Like
no,
it's and I'm just like,
no, and they're using different body measurements. You know,
yes,
Listen, you're gonna see a difference with CoolStitch. The best way I can explain it is when you buy it and you wear it, you're like, oh, this is different. Every time I see people wearing the pieces I've made, it becomes their favorite piece. This one influencer I worked with, she wore it everywhere on the airport, just traveling at the club. I mean, it was a three-piece set, and I sent her, and she's been in it all the time. And I'm just like, that speaks to the quality. Repeated customers speak to how good the brand is, and that's what I love.
and that takes a lot of patience
Just
though. You literally sitting up here with a sewing machine.
hmm
Like it reminds me of my grandma.
yeah,
That
yeah.
was
It's a
so.
beautiful thing. It's very peaceful. It's very peaceful.
You
I,
said that
a
before.
lot of people, it's you don't understand the sound of needle. As you see it going in, in the thread and it's making the loops. And the sound and the pedal. It's all therapeutic.
I've
It
never
is.
heard anybody describe sewing
Yeah,
in depth this way before. I never
yeah,
think of it as peaceful. I think of it as like I might hurt my finger. But to you, but I mean that would be the equivalent of
yeah.
some like white noise for somebody else.
Yeah, and what I love about it is like creating. I made this, of course. So um, you gotta support yourself. So it feels good. Before this was an idea. I'm like, hey, I want to make a plaid sweater. It's an idea I create, and this is the creation. You know what I'm saying? It fits the neck, everything. And I stand on it. This beautiful piece. When you wash it 100 times, the neck's not gonna break. It's not gonna lose its color because I wear, Cool Stitch is my house clothes, my going out. I wear Cool Stitch all the time. So like I'm testing my product. When you put your hands in your pocket, those areas that have a lot of traffic, I reinforce. I triple stitch all the time because as you put your hand into the pocket over and over and over, that's wear and tear. So those areas, the thighs, I reinforce because I care about what I'm doing. And that's what I want to make, clear with. And you see that when you buy the piece and you wear it, you're like, oh, okay, this feels good, and that becomes your favorite piece. They're not even giving you time to get a favorite piece if it's made poorly. You wear it a few times, it's gonna rip. They don't care. I care. They don't care though, but I care.
They don't be
Yeah.
caring. You be spending your money. We be mad out here. You got to make clothes
Yeah.
for the thick girls, but you also got to make shirts for big foreheaded people like me. Cause I'm gonna stretch it.
Yeah.
I got the.
Yeah.
It's a West Virginia
And
mountain
that's
goat,
and,
so you got to take care of me.
that's the thing. When I do the neckline, when it's a women piece, I use stretchy thread. So everything stretch. The fabric stretch, the thread stretch. So there's gonna be a lot of stretch, a lot of ease. As a woman, her body has different shapes. Man, they're much easier, so they don't need all that special love.
Right. You
But
either
women pieces, they're
you either a dad
like
body,
you're gonna
you in
you're
the
gonna take
gym, or you skinny. Yeah.
yeah,
We
yeah,
be all
and
we
you
be
know
wisdom tooth. We built like a wisdom tooth, a microwave, a Coke bottle. You don't know what form we're gonna come in. A Pop Tart. You got to take care of us.
right, and that's why it has to have like a forward stretch, and it got to be stretchy. You don't know, when where it needs to stretch. So
Our
I
bodies
always make
change.
sure.
It needs to stretch everywhere. But let me
Hmm.
ask you this: like, how did you feel?
Yeah,
So Pinky brings you out on stage in front of all these people,
yeah.
telling them to love on your brand. Like, what was running through your head when you came out on that stage? Because I was hyped for you.
Man, so the producer brought me back backstage and was like, "Hey, just wait here. So when it's your turn, we don't have to go find you." So they had me in the spot sitting down, and they were like, when it was almost time for me to get on stage, they came and got me. So I'm in the back as she's speaking, and I'm just watching, and I mean, I see all the people, backstage. I'm, breathing, trying to be calm, But when I walked out, man, I saw everyone. I was like, man, this is wow. It's a
It was
lot of
sold out.
people. I was like,
Yeah. There was a sold
yeah, I
out
was
show.
nervous. Not gonna lie, I was nervous. It was 500 people in total. So I learned that after the fact. But when I looked out and I saw the upstairs, I saw the level I was on. I was just like, I had to get it together. I started speaking, and then everyone showed love, which was amazing. That made it easier, because
Yeah, Pinky
they
had
they
this
showed.
man tell everybody his cash app. I said, talk
Yeah,
about a black woman standing on her shit. Because a lot of people talk about
yeah,
giving back to the community and doing
yeah,
this, that, and the third and putting people on, but sometimes it comes with
yeah.
fine print. Like how many followers you got
Right.
already? Is it something that I'll benefit from
Yeah,
attaching myself to? And she ain't on
yeah.
that.
No, and that's why I made clear to her too when I was on the stage, like, thank you so much, for the opportunity and the blessing that she gave me, and then after, her wearing the piece again, and to say like, hey, this is my go-to for sweatsuits, that was like the stamp, so I told her like, I appreciate you so much, you don't understand, and like the love.
Exactly.
So yeah, yeah, she's a good woman, man. I swear, there's a lot of people out there, but she's real true. And that's what I love about her. She really care, so
Right. And
that's
I
nice.
asked this
Yeah.
before. I asked this before. Who is your dream
Hmm.
client?
Man, so young thug. But then, he, I mean, his how he wears his clothes is effortless to me. I feel that's a part of Cool Stitch. It's not all bedazzled and all crazy. It just flows. It just flows. And then the pieces he select, I feel like I got pieces for him. I got pieces for him. So it's obvious, we gotta get that going. Free YSL, of course, so and then there's a whole Atlanta. I got a plan for the whole Atlanta. I'm here in Atlanta,
Atlanta's
we got a
big.
little baby. Atlanta's a big deal right now. So
Well, Atlanta been a big deal for
yeah,
a
they
long
need
time, but now everybody like is trying to
eh,
come up out of Atlanta because Atlanta is Atlanta.
yeah, yeah. When I moved here from New York, they told me I was too late, like it ain't popping like it used to. Freaknik was gone, everything was going. So they were like, nah, Atlanta ain't it right now. But it's it right now,
It's where
it's
everybody people from the Midwest they get bored.
mhm.
They move to Texas, like Houston, Dallas, Atlanta. It's
Yeah,
where everybody goes. But
yeah.
point that out though about the naysayers and people trying to speak to you about what they think is and ain't gonna work for you, and how
I
obviously
mean, you know, my I look at it like this, like your dream is your dream. Someone else is not going to understand because it's not their dream. I'm talking about a loved one, family, brother, sister, spouse, anything. They're not going to understand because it wasn't their dream. It's your dream. And I think sometimes we forget that. I forgot it. I'm talking to someone like, what do you think? It don't matter what you think, when you think about it now. It don't. I got a dream. I'm going to follow my dream. And that's what I had to learn. It's like follow my dream. Hey, they're gonna say what they gotta say. I already have internal noise. This moments I'm beefing with myself. I don't. I'm trying to cut all that back and make things as easy as possible for me. I don't need you over here, with your negativity per se. So at first it was hard. Like, you're supposed to be my homie, or no, you're supposed to be a family member, and we're not on the same page. But now it don't matter. It don't matter. They come around too when they see it. They gonna come around.
I said, who all trying to
But
get who trying to get clothes right now though? Who trying to get a piece?
it's it's a waiting list. It's a waiting list. I told family members like, you gotta wait right now. So you could have been the first ones, but but no, it's a waiting list.
They
So
all proud of
ev-
you now, tagging you, sharing the post, making sure everybody know you couldn't.
yeah,
You gotta pay. People, pay your entrepreneur relatives and friends. Don't ask for hookups.
yeah, and that's. I mean, it's hard. It's hard being an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? It's like you come on Instagram. Like Instagram gotta be for business. Like you gotta post your posts, post your stories, post your reel, and then let's
Slow.
leave it alone. You know what I'm saying? Because you come on the gram and you see everything go crazy. Like, I mean, what people are doing. It's like, yo, you see the pictures and it's
Yeah.
like 100 packages on the floor. You know what I'm saying? And they standing on packages or they laying down on packages, and you may not have all those packages. I mean, I don't. And I'm just like, yo, that don't matter. You know what I mean? It don't matter. I used to feel away like, man, how come I'm not doing what they doing? But I feel like, yo, just cut all that out and just stick to it and do what you got to do, and eventually, I mean, you're gonna get there. If you
And
keep
you
on
brought up a
going.
good thing though. Like sometimes it is good to get if you're promoting a business or a platform or whatever. It is good to get on, post your stuff, and dip because you
Yeah,
can go down a rabbit hole of comparing
yeah,
yourself to other people,
yo,
and then it's your whole day gone.
gone, gone. And I used to do it. You know what I'm saying? I used to do it, and they make it seem. The thing about entrepreneurs, like you got those people out there that make it seem like, yo, it's really beautiful and easy. It is. When you get to where you want to get to, you know what I'm saying? When you
Put in
fulfill
the
your
work.
dream. Beautiful, of course. But when you get in there, and I mean, nobody talks about when you get in there, the days you wake up, you ain't got no sales. You go weeks, I mean, it's hard times, you know what I'm saying? You don't have no sales. They're not talking about that. They're just showing you, they're just showing you all these thousands of dollars that they making. But the truth of the matter, which I know personally, like, yo, it's hard. It's hard. And Instagram, we've been conditioned, all of us, I would say, to like, yo, just, oh, if it doesn't look like this, then I'm doing something wrong. And that's not the case. And I learned that, now I'm just like, hey, if my likes ain't there, we've been conditioned for a lot of things. And it's all noise. Because what you
Right.
want to do is work on your goal, follow your passion, you know what I'm saying? And get
That's
that dream out
real.
there.
And when
Yeah.
it's your time, because you said that you'd had some bad experiences sending out pieces
hmm
before, but I feel like those just weren't the right people. That just because
Yeah.
everybody
Right.
wouldn't have been a pinky.
I feel like this. I motivate myself. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't always like that in the beginning. I used to look for that externally. You know what I'm saying? But now, from time and me working, I'm just like, hey, I got it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do what I need to do, not trying to, help someone get motivated from an external factor. I read books, I watch YouTube, podcasts, and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm with me all the time. You know what I'm saying? So my mental gotta be right. After I finish a podcast, I'm back with me. So
Right.
my goal is to focus on me, make sure I'm always right, and make myself my biggest, motivator and supporter. And I'm like, yo, man, I got it. And it feels good. When you make yourself happy, that feels real good. I don't think some people understand. Like it's better than anything else once you do right by yourself. So my thing
But
right
stop
now
right
is
there. Stop right there. Sit there for a minute. When you do right by yourself,
yeah, yeah,
because a lot of people wait on other folks, whether it's companionship or business. You're looking for somebody else to
hmm
do the work, do the promoting,
yeah,
the warm and
yeah.
fuzzy, to give you the good, the
Yeah.
nice fuzzy feel. You want other people to do the work for you.
You gotta do and you gotta be your own checks and balances. You know what I'm saying? That's what I've learned. I mean, and it's not I didn't know it from day one. This is all things that I learned along the way, So now that I continue to learn things, but the most important thing I will always say is like you gotta keep on going. That's how I met and that's how I got the opportunity to work with Pinkies because I kept going. This is my seventh year at it. If I stopped prior, even when I was in my feelings and I didn't send the piece out because of prior experiences, that'd have been a mistake. But I sent her an outfit, even though I wasn't too sure. But it all worked out because I was supposed to send her the outfit, not being my feelings because a prior experience didn't work out. So you always got to keep going. And I mean, it just takes one moment, like the moment I experienced with her, to change your brand.
You
So
was staying ready, so you ain't got
I
to
mean,
get
that's
ready.
That's very true. That's very true. It sounds cliche, but it's the truth.
I
It's
saw
the
it
truth. If you
with
stay ready,
you. We saw with you and Cranky Granny's, a cinnamon roll company that she basically
Yeah.
made an offer to on the spot. Like both of y'all, like you
Yeah.
came to play ball, they came to play ball,
Hmm.
and got an offer.
Yeah.
So I think that if people
Yeah.
take that, like they'll feel a little bit
Hmm.
better and sleep a little bit better at night.
Yeah, yeah, because it's a law. If you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. It's a law to me. I know that firsthand now. You know what I mean? It's just you gotta
Yeah.
stay
And
ready.
2015, 2022.
Yeah, yeah. It took
That's a
some
lot of
time.
work. That's a lot of
Yeah,
work.
it's a lot of not and I always look at it too, like, man, I could have, but it's just that's how it goes sometimes. I had a full-time job. Then when I made time, I worked on the brand. So now sometimes I think, I could have put more time into the brand, of course, but I never gave up. I always kept going, and it's paying off now. So I'm
Clearly.
happy. Yeah, yeah. I'm about to take over. You hear it first, right? I'm about to take over the
He about to
fashion.
take
So.
over. I'm gonna say, what's your plan? What are the plans for Cool Stitch in the next 5 to 10 years? Where do you see it? Like what is in that mind of yours when you close your eyes at night?
Man, it's a whole design studio, so people who want to learn how to sew, I push that hard. People like, but if you teach the right way, people will love it. So I want it to be a full design studio, where you can come and, learn how to sew, take sewing classes. I'm going to create patterns where if you want to, design pieces, you can use pre-made patterns. I'm gonna have YouTube. I'm gonna create a YouTube channel where I sew pieces and show people how to sew, make some pieces that I make. The experience in the years that I have. I feel it's people would like to see that and know how I create the pieces that I do create and the fabrics that I do use. To make the pieces so comfortable. So 5 to 10 years, Cool Stitch will be a big deal, definitely. Household name when it comes to good quality garments,
Come
for
on.
leisure and travel.
Each one teach one.
Yeah,
I always say this is a manifestation station. When you say something on
yeah,
here, it's gotta come
yeah,
to fruition.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah,
it's gotta happen. So you said it. You're gonna have
hmm,
to teach these babies or these
yeah,
aunties or
yeah.
whoever.
I mean,
And
there's no better feeling making your outfit and wearing the outfit. I'm telling you, there's experiences out there that people are missing that I'm gonna help them, get to.
he gonna
So
get y'all together.
yeah,
Well,
they could thank me later, but right now, I'm gonna help them get there.
all right.
Yeah.
Well, you got to tell everybody where to find you. They need to know where to find
So
you to learn how to sew.
yeah, I'm on Instagram, Cool Stitch. That's CoolStitch, and my website is CoolStitchStore.com.
Got it. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining today and sharing your
You,
story.
you.
I
Okay,
I think people are gonna be inspired by it. So
I hope so.
quit wearing cheap ass shit out in these streets. Get with the
Hey,
women
you.
tee.
I'll co-sign. Yeah,
Stop
yeah.
wearing this cheap
If you care
ass.
about your body, people. If you think about it, if you care about what you eat, you got to care about what touches your skin too. So you got to look at it that way.
Well, I mean,
You
when you
want the
say it
best
like
garment.
that, when you say
Hey,
it like that, now it's gonna be like
hey, stop, wear good clothes. It's not about even being expensive. You gotta wear good clothes. So
it's not about it being
I mean,
expensive.
nah, nah, you just gotta know what you buying is good quality clothing. That's what it's about. And if it's not from me, then someone else, but you gotta buy good quality clothing. You'll see the difference and you'll definitely feel the difference.
There you
Yeah,
go. Well,
yeah,
he helped y'all out. Go to the website, get you something cute and comfortable so you can be on the beach with a
yeah.
mai tai with your skin feeling nice and rich because you know who made
Don't
your clothes.
there you go. Yeah.
so, so y'all know what
Thank
type of
you.
time we on. Whatever it is we in right now, y'all. As always, we're applicable. Wear your mask, wash your hands, socially distance. Happy New Year because this is 2023. So when you get a free moment, remember to clean out your dirty bag. Till next time.
Mm.
Well, darling, there's only one God.